This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your hosts, Brandon Cook, Nick Harrington, and Travis Foch.
Well, buddy, that's how you respond. What a big week from the Walleye. 3 games, 3 wins, 2 shutouts.
Back-to-back shutouts.
Back-to-back shutouts. Big third periods. New guy making an impact immediately. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hockeytown West, your home for the Toledo Walleye hockey. And this was a statement week from the Fish. After everything... Good.
Just like you said, statement week. They're back. Like, everybody was like sounding the alarm. And what did I say to you last week? I was like, I said, let me see this week. Let me get through this week and we'll see where we're at. And they bounced back. So huge credit to them.
I mean, this is kind of what you needed to happen, right? Trade, a roster movement, questions, and then a full answer, right? They went back to playing defense is what you asked for, if I remember correctly, last week. You wanted them to play defense. 2 shutouts. I mean,
they played a lot better defensively. A lot better defensively. 2 completely different shutouts, which we'll get into. But yeah, just a huge bounce back as a whole. I thought they improved in areas that they really needed to. And yeah, you're going to hear a lot of very exciting stuff about these games this week that had me very excited.
Before we get into it, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. We're trying to hit 700 here very quickly. So go through, hit subscribe, like the video, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway from this 3-game sweep. Any rumors that you've heard this week, drop them in the comments as well, right? If you're listening on audio.
Let's not. My phone's been bad enough, and it's only Tuesday of recording.
Travis will answer back all of them individually. So if it comes from the page, it's Travis. And if you're listening on audio, follow the show, share it with another walleye. That's how we keep this thing growing. But do you think this was the best 3-game stretch of the season?
You throw the shutouts in there, and I would say yes. But then you go back to the 10-game run that they went on. There was probably 3 games in there that were pretty good.
All right, you got me there. I was going to say 10-game stretch. Okay, that's a little bit more sample size there, Trav. We're just looking at 3 games, but they probably did. And hopefully, I think it's too late to start it in this show. It's the segment series that we do at Grand Rapids. So maybe next year we'll remember to throw it in and start doing it there. Before we get into the games, a few updates. Jacob Truss got reassigned prior to Sunday's game, which is funny that he got called up. He got called up Friday because Shiner was out, and so they called him up so we had a full lineup. And it's funny because when we talked last, I was like, hey, give me an update on Truss. Like, what's going on with him? How's he playing down there? And so you give me a little bit, and then the next day, called up. So I thought it's funny timing on that side. Colin Sawyer didn't play Saturday or Sunday. And then congrats to Dylan Moulton. First AHL goal. That's huge.
Yeah, I love that for him. Very excited for him. Got his AHL debut under his belt. Always funny enough against Grand Rapids in Grand Rapids. That was a pretty cool little piece for him. It was funny when he was doing his like pregame like media availability, I guess you would say. Like they're like, one of the questions that was asked was like, did you kind of envision that maybe you'd be dressing in the other locker room, being that you're, a Toledo guy? But still credit to him to get up to the American League, and he's still up there. He's not back yet. No idea when we'll get him back. So there's that. Like you said, Sawyer didn't play Saturday or Sunday. It looked like he got hurt Friday night. Collision. Didn't play the second and third, if I recall correctly. And the Truss got one was big for Sunday, which we'll get into. Toledo played short Saturday, and that was a very crazy evening. That I didn't expect a shutout with playing with 5 defensemen, but they found a way. So we'll talk about that. And then the big elephant in the room.
Yes.
That everybody, like, going into Friday night, like, all panic ensued when I walked into the Huntington Center. I had a couple people be like, Brown, where's Christopher Brown? Why is he not in the lineup? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm just here. Like, I'm here. Like, I report what I know, and I don't know, so I can't tell you. And that was like the big thing. And then like during the game, I was like, oh, well, he's not going to report. This has happened before. Da 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 da. And it's like, well, we don't know what's going on, so can everybody please take a breather? And like, can we just get through this game first? Like, the team's struggling. Can we just support the team first? And everybody was pissed about the trade. This looks worse. It's 5-1, and it's like, oh my God, can you guys just please relax? Every person I talked to was like, good Lord. And we get to the end of the game, and then we do post game, and it comes out that he's dealing with a family matter, and he's expected to join the team hopefully this week. So that's all we can go off of. So it's better news than what, everybody's freaking out. Oh, he's going to retire. He's not going to report. Like, guys, can we please breathe a little bit here? And yeah, it's possible that could happen. It's happened to Toledo before. We've made trades before where we acquire somebody and they don't come or don't report or retire. It happens in the ECHL. It's not just something that we deal with. Like that. This is something that every team that has dealt with probably at some point in their team's history. So, but all signs are good from what Mark's article said. It's just a matter of probably sorting out some stuff, because you got to remember, like, he's living in Jacksonville the last 6 years. Like, he probably has a home down there full time, and now he's got to uproot everything to come to Toledo, Ohio in the middle of the year. And if you have young children, I don't know him. I don't know if he does. That there's a lot there. Like it's a lot. So just know that that it's been said that he's dealing with a family matter, and he's expected to join the team this week. Hopefully by the time of this recording coming out, he's already joined the team.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's definitely an interesting situation there, as you trade that many people, right, to another team halfway through the season, and you only get the one guy that shows up. So I texted you and I was like, what the heck, Travis? Like, what's going on here? Like, this does not look good at all. In that situation, what would happen if that other guy didn't report? What would, he
doesn't report. You don't get him.
Do they send some players back? Do
Nope.
they revisit the trade?
Nope.
Nothing.
Deal's done. Like that's just how it's just how it is. It's
There's no like 5-day money back guarantee kind of thing.
No. And we'll get into this a little deeper, but like, a lot of people were frustrated, and I've seen a lot of mixed comments online about, like, the guys that we traded all popped off last weekend for Jacksonville. And it's like, well, guys, they're going and they're getting an expanded role. Like, they were subjected to the bottom 6 here because of other guys that were above them in the lineup. They couldn't push through that ceiling to get higher in the lineup to, get those more minutes. Now they're down in Jacksonville. They're going to play more. They're going to get a lot of opportunities. They're going to get a lot of ice time. They just, traded away 2 key pieces to get those 4 guys. Like, they're going to play. They're going to put up points. Like, just be happy for them. Like, the best situation here is it's a win-win. They go and have good careers with Jacksonville. Toledo gets these 2 guys, and they go on a cup run. Like, that ultimately would be the win-win trade here. So,
and they could come back, right? I mean, once the season's over, they could re-sign back here in Toledo.
Potentially.
They'll
probably all be protected, but potentially. Don't rule it out, but rarely does that happen.
Hey, it's a possibility. 1% chance, maybe. But who doesn't want to come back to Toledo, right?
Well, the fun part about this is we have a guest on today's show, and he came back to Toledo mid-season. So we didn't really even say anything in the beginning, but Mitch Lewandowski kind enough to stop by and talk about his time in Toledo and Michigan State. So I think we'll throw it to him now, and hope you all enjoy. All right, everybody, joining us today is a current player of the Toledo Walleye. He's been a huge part of the team's last 3 seasons. This is his 3rd year now. Welcome to the Hockeytown West podcast, Mitch Lewandowski. Louis, how are you?
Doing good. Happy to be on finally, and yeah,
it's like a year in the making.
Yeah, it took me a bit for sure. I apologize for that, but no, we made it.
Yeah,
I'm just glad we don't have to get Hawk on again. I mean, I think that guy's getting tired of us, right? So it's good to get somebody a little better, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. We'll take that.
Yeah, man. So we'll obviously jump into Toledo, but we want to go back to Michigan State. And I guess the biggest thing is, like, what led you to MSU?
Yeah, I just growing up playing, in Detroit minor hockey. I was with Little Caesars and then with Honey Baked, and my U14 year, we had a really strong team with Honey Baked. So there was a lot of scouts at our games. There was a lot that always went into that. We were winning a lot. We had a really good team, just high profile guys. So that kind of led into U16, obviously. And then, Michigan State reached out. I went and visited there on a Friday and went to a football game. Really loved it. Like, it was just a great atmosphere. I got to meet Tom Izzo on the recruiting trip. Just cool stuff like that. They made me feel at home, and then got the offer, and I was committed within, I want to say 4 or 5 days, and I was only 16, 17 years old. So I was obviously young. It was verbal, so I didn't really know. Looking back, it's obviously a lot different, and it's pretty cool that I was able to go through that at that time. But yeah, I loved it. My family went to school there. Those who went to Michigan State, it was special to them, obviously, and loved every second being a Spartan there.
Was that your first choice? Like, because you had family go there and everybody else, and you're close to that too because you're from Michigan.
Yeah, like, it was obviously always, Michigan and Michigan State were always kind of up there for me. I was more of a Spartan fan, and kind of, I did visit both, and just fell in love with Michigan State, and yeah, that was, it was very special. I lived an hour and a half away in Clarkston, so I had family there. I knew a bunch of kids from school that went there from high school, and yeah, it was just a great fit for me.
Well, you picked the right school. I could say that with Brandon not being here. So you picked the right
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah, definitely.
What was your favorite memory being at Michigan State? I mean, Izzo's pretty cool, but there's had to be something to top that, right?
I mean, yeah, it's hard because, like, there's so many things. Like, the football was one thing, the basketball is another thing. Just being a student is a whole nother thing in the springtime. So it's hard to say. And then the atmosphere of the games was great. I think back to, we played Ohio State one game, and it was a crazy comeback. I don't know if we were down 2-3 in the third, but came back and won the game in overtime at Munn. And there's just so many special moments and so many special people that I've met there, and still close with so many of them.
What was your favorite building you went to on the road in college?
I always liked going to Penn State. Pagula was sweet. Like, the student section was always, they were rocking at all times. The songs, the pregame stuff, like, it was just a great atmosphere, and always loved going there. And we always won there too. It always seemed like we split, so it was always a good trip.
It's got to be. I'm glad. It's interesting you didn't say Yost.
Yeah, I mean, not my favorite spot, I can say. More of a, yeah.
That section gets pretty crazy there, but we've heard some good things about Penn State's arena, and we've been asked to come out there, and it's tough with the schedule.
Yeah,
With
I mean, they're
Sturtsy
all
there.
nice too. Like, yeah, Sturtsy's there. I mean, Minnesota's great. Wisconsin, like, they're all, Notre Dame. You can't go wrong really in the Big Ten nowadays, right?
No, not at all. Especially this. I mean, this season has been pretty crazy. Have
Yeah.
you been able to follow them at all, Michigan State?
Yeah, I've been following, last couple of years, obviously, ever since I left, and it's hard, can't make games on Friday and Saturday, but always following along and keeping up with those guys. And Tanner Kelly he's obviously with us now, but he was a freshman when I was a fifth year there, so I was able to follow his journey along, and we live close back home to each other, so we've been good buddies, and followed him along, obviously, and happy to have him with us now.
You played with some former Griffin, Mr. Taro Hiroshi, and Mr. John Letherman in Toledo. What was playing like with them, and like what can you share any stories or anything throughout the season with those two guys?
Yeah, well, right when I got to school, like, my freshman year, I was put on a line with Hiroshi and Cordoranko, and we kind of just clicked right away, and it turned into this big line and this whole thing by year two. It was pretty cool to just be a part of. Taro was, amazing with the puck. He won the Hobie Baker that second year, and we kind of just really clicked as a unit. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a story. Like, we were roommates on the road, and we didn't really talk much. This was towards the end of his Hobie year, and I didn't know where he was going to go. Like, I never wanted to ask him. Like, we were still in season, we were playing, so we finally lost. We lost to Notre Dame, and we were back in the hotel room, and I was like, "Hey, where are you going?" And he was like, "I'm going to play for Detroit, like, Friday." And that was, I think that was in like 4 or 5 days, maybe. So yeah, it was like pretty cool. Hometown team. Like, I was like, really? Like, no way. So it was, yeah, that was cool. And then, Johnny Letherman was just an all-time human. Like, I was able to spend time with Johnny and with the Chicago Steel before Michigan State, actually. And then our 4 years together at school or 3 with him, I guess, and back to in Toledo. So we've played a lot of pro years together, a lot of years with him, and great family, all that stuff, and we see each other at weddings in the summer now and everything, and keep track of each other. So
Would you say he has one of the nicest signatures?
nicest signatures and nicest set of hair you'll ever see. He's got it all going.
I was gonna say, man, like the one signature I seen, he signed a jersey that Brandon had, and I was just like, oh my God, like just elite penmanship.
Yeah, very elite.
So you break up Taro, go to Detroit, you leave and you go to the Roadrunners. How was hockey in the desert?
It was cool. Never, that was my first trip to Arizona. It was, pretty cold at the time in Michigan. So like that weather change, I lived in a hotel for 3 months and, was walking to the rink in shorts and a t-shirt. That was pretty different than, a full winter outfit. It was a lot of fun getting that first pro experience, like looking at guys that I was with, Boko Imama, Tyson Empey is a guy that just, really tough guys that you're not really seeing in college a lot. So I think that adjustment of playing with, bigger, stronger guys, obviously at that level, got me ready for pro and was a good first taste for sure.
How did you get there? Like, what was the process of you getting to the Roadrunners?
Yeah, I didn't know, our season ended obviously, and it was my 5th year. So, there was obviously no going back. Like it was, if I wanted to play pro, that was going to be the time. And, I just got a call from my agent that he ran into the GM for Tucson and they needed a guy. And randomly he was like, well, I think my name got brought up. And then, the next morning I was on a plane to Tucson. And yeah, I had to practice, I think the next day. And then we played that weekend. So kind of jumped right into it, was able, I think 10 to 15 games there to end the season. And yeah, it was awesome.
Being that you played in Arizona, do you think that the NHL would work? Like with better ownership? No, it's a serious question, Nick. Like,
yeah,
having somebody that played down there.
I feel like they've tried that.
Well, they have.
Yeah. And it's hard to say because I feel like everyone likes a winner. And when the Coyotes were there and they weren't winning, I feel like it was easy to not go to games or not follow along. So I think if that was maybe different, like you look at the Suns, like I feel like the Suns are doing pretty well down there, right? And I get different sport and whatnot, but I feel like hockey can work anywhere. It's too bad that it didn't work out there, but we had a decent amount of crowd down there, and we were on the campus of basically University of Arizona. So there's so much stuff to do down there too.
Right.
So I guess my answer would be yeah, but it's hard to say for sure, right?
I just wondered from a player's perspective, like that somebody that played in Arizona, like why didn't it work? But after Arizona, you find your way to Toledo. Like how did that come to be?
Yeah, I signed actually in Orlando right after the Tucson year. I signed in Orlando. I didn't even talk to Toledo actually. I signed in Orlando, and then it's crazy story actually. I drove down there with my dad. Me and my dad got in the car, took 2 days, drove down to Orlando. I flew out of Orlando. My dad flew back to Michigan, and I went to San Jose for camp. So I was going to camp, and then the very first skate of camp, I popped my shoulder out. So now it's like, okay, well, am I going to try to get surgery or like what's the deal with it? And the shoulder just wasn't great. So I decided in San Jose that I was going to go home and just call the season and just get my shoulder fixed. I got on the phone with my doctor at Michigan State, and he was like, yeah, I can do it. So I flew back home to Orlando. My dad flew back to Orlando. I picked him up from the airport, and we drove home. And that was within 2 weeks. Wow. So that was my season. And then I had surgery within another 2 weeks from that point. And then was home. I was just home with mom, rehabbing and doing all that took me about 6-7 months. And then with the timing, I was able to get back on my feet by summer, just before summer, and played in summer hockey, did this and that training, and went back to Michigan State to train. And then I eventually, that next year, went to Toledo. I just, it was close to home. They were doing so well. I was kind of following their trip along. I think they lost to Idaho that year, but was following along the whole way. And, it was like, that'd be pretty cool to play there. I've heard good things, and reached out. I think my agent reached out, and then next few days I was signed there.
So it wasn't Johnny behind the scenes trying to get you there, pull some strings, get you to Toledo?
He definitely got in my ear before. He was in my ear telling me how great it was, and then I obviously spoke to him before signing, but he just had nothing but great things to say, and yeah, he told me all the right things, all the true things.
Why do you think it's such a destination for players to go to?
I think, location wise too, with Michigan, Chicago being such hockey hotbeds. I think you get a lot of local guys. We got a lot of guys from Michigan or even just north of the border in Toronto, Canadian guys. So, and then you get the fan base. Like the fan base is just it's unmatched. It's easy to say best in the league, but we're playing Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and there's 8,000 in the stands, and that's AHL teams really can't compete with that. Most of them. So it's just a special place to play, and then the way you're treated off the ice is, pretty special. The bus, and we're flying to South Carolina in a few weeks, and just all this stuff, and the way you're treated and represented is special here.
Does it feel like the Huntington Center's too small at times? Like it could support that like 10,000, 12,000?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's probably come up in the locker room and with guys messing around too. Like, how many people would it actually fill? Like, could you do 15 easily? Could you do 20 easily? It seems like you really could. So, but no, yeah, the Huntington's a great spot.
Do you think it could do an AHL team there? Like if Toledo bumped up to the next level?
I don't know why they couldn't. Like, I feel like half of the fans in Toledo are already watching and paying attention to what's going on in Grand Rapids anyway, right? So, I feel like they could here for sure.
What's been your favorite part with Toledo?
It's the runs have been fun. Like once you get to playoffs, it's there's nothing like it. Especially you go through such a hard. It's a tough season. Like it's a long, grueling season. The 3-3s catch up. Like it's by the time you get to playoffs, it's finally just time to let loose and let it rip. So it's fun. Not everyone gets to enjoy that. We see guys coming from college and guys that we've traded for, and they just love it, love being part of it, and what better place to do it than here too, right?
Yeah, you talk about the runs last year. That had to be just an unbelievable experience for all of you guys. I know it didn't go your guys' way, but just as a whole, it had to be special. And like you're bonded forever.
Yeah, bonded forever. We had such a good special team. Getting through Kansas City was obviously great. The year before they knocked us out, so that was a big one. We wanted to obviously make it to the finals, and the Fort Wayne series was equally as good. They gave us a hard push. We stole some games on the road in that series, and our locker room after that Tyler Spiza goal was something I'll always remember.
Yeah, the one game especially, you guys really robbed them.
Yeah, the shots and everything was pretty lopsided that game. We I don't remember if Gylander or Yanni was in the net. I want to say Yanni, but yeah, we stole 2 there, I think, for sure.
Speaking of Yanni and Spies, they headed overseas in the summer, and then you headed overseas as well. How difficult was that for you to make that decision to go over?
Yeah, it's tough because you just leave so much behind, I feel like. And it was a long season for us. We got done, I want to say June 13th or 14th was the last game, and you're over to Europe in August 1st. So 6 weeks of summer isn't a lot after that season. I think we played 90, 93, 94 games last year, so you jump right back into it. So it was a quick turnaround for all of us. My season's been going now since August 3rd. So by the end of it, 10, 11 months, it definitely gets long. So you're good for a break after the season. You take your couple weeks, and then you get right back on the horse. But those 2 are having great seasons over in Europe, and 2 great special players.
What was tough? What's the adjustment period for being over there? Besides having the short summer, we see a lot of guys head over, and sometimes it's tough, right? What was the hardest adjustment for you, I guess?
I just as a whole living, you know what I mean. I was alone. I didn't go with anyone, so I think that took a lot to get used to. And away from the rink, you have so much time on your own, and it's one thing when you're spending a lot of time with the different guys on the team or whatnot, but when they really don't speak your language that great, it's a little bit different. So that was kind of tough. ice being a little bigger, there's more skating, so it's kind of a different game out there. It's not as much crashing and banging and dumping the puck in. They want the possession and you know, carry the puck in zone and all that kind of stuff.
You got family at every game. Did that make coming back over middle of the year an easy decision at the same time?
Yeah, when I was kind of going through the tail end of it in Sweden, I kind of knew. I reached out to Boehner, Brent Bain, and just said, "Hey, like, I might end up coming back here, and I might end up switching teams." So, you know, he wanted to be in the loop right away with it, and you know, we had a conversation in my exit meeting last season. You know, I told them I'm most likely going to go overseas, but would appreciate if they just held my rights because I didn't really know exactly how it worked, but I told them I wanted to play in Toledo if I was to come back, and yeah, they said no problem, we'd love that. And by the time I was in Sweden and went through that whole process, yeah, it was super simple to come back. You know, once they said they would be welcoming me back, told my parents, and you know, they were pumped up, and it was just, you know, very special and, you know, very cool to come back.
That's cool that you like brought up that little piece of like, you know, getting on the same page of like, hey, if the opportunity were to present itself, if I did come back, like this would be the place I want to be. And cool on the team and the staff for, you know, keeping your rights around for that reason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was, you know, Pat Boehner and you know, Redzi now, they do such a great job, and you know, very lucky to have those guys around us every day.
A transition. Why are you number 67?
Oh, well, yeah. So like my third year wearing it now. So I mean, I was in Sweden at the time when this was all happening, like when the whole number kind of blew up. And I mean, in Sweden we had the ranks. There was a U12, U13, all the way down to, I want to say, 6 and 7, 8-year-olds. So I mean, kids were walking around doing that to me every single day, and I didn't know what was going on because I don't have a TikTok. So. I stuck with the number, and then I came back here and my jersey wasn't ordered because they obviously wasn't here. So they had 17. So I was wearing 17 for a while when I came back, and I kept getting questions like, "Oh, 67 got to you, huh? Like it was too much. Like you have to switch." And then Adam, our equipment trainer, asked me if I wanted 67 back, and it just, I mean, that's still my number, you know, but so I wanted it back. When I switched to pro, I wore 9 in college, and that was a brand new number for me. So I figured, you know, I'm going to pro now. I might as well just start brand new with a fresh number. Landed on 67. I liked the 7. I always wore 17 and 71. So I was like, there's the 7, and landed on 67 before this was all a whole thing.
I didn't realize this was like an international thing. I just thought it was a U.S. thing, like the kids over here. Because I know there's different TikToks for different countries. So that's nuts that it's that far, or we got it that far. I don't know where it started. I'm assuming it started here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah, every day, maybe 2-3 times a day, that was kids running up to me.
So you were a celebrity over there.
Yeah, just because of the number.
The only downfall about it is you couldn't wear it for Kids Day game.
Yeah, I didn't wear it for that game, which makes no sense, I guess. But
So one thing I found that's really interesting with you last year, I noticed it, and then when you came back, you didn't do it initially. Now you're doing it again. You spray paint your stick white, the bottom
Yeah.
part. So like, why did you do it and do it now, and why didn't you do it initially when you came back?
yeah, I did it in juniors, and it was kind of like, I think it was like a get me out of the slump type of thing when I did it in juniors, just kind of trying white tape, whatever, black tape, whatever it might be. And then I probably scored or had a good game or whatever, and I stuck with the spray paint for the rest of that year. And then college, I never did it because I didn't think you could. Like, I didn't want to just ask the guy, we got nice Bowers. I didn't want to go spray paint them. So once I got to Toledo and Hawk was out there at my first day, just painting sticks, like a museum out there, I'm like, all right, well, I'll try the spray paint again. And I like the look of it. Like, I like the white at the bottom, and because I use white tape, so I think it just looks clean, and you know, I'm able to see the puck without even looking at it, I feel like. I don't know why I didn't do it right when I came back, but I definitely got back into it. Hawk grabbed me one game and was like, it doesn't look good without the spray paint. So I mean, you gotta go grab some and get that thing painted up.
Well, it was funny because like I noticed it your first game back. I'm like, oh, he quit spray painting his stick, and then like a few weeks later, you were doing it again. I was like, I wonder who told him to do it. So it's funny that Hawk did it because he does it with gray. And
Yeah.
I remember one. I think it was the one morning skate I came to earlier this year. He was getting his sticks ready, and he was there spray painting them, and he looked at me. He goes, "Now it's ready," and I was like, "Okay." Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the guys will tell me too if I don't have one spray painted, I go out for warm-ups or something. And like if I break one in warm-ups, I might not have the other one painted in the back. I do nowadays, but I didn't before, and I would go out with the first period with no spray paint, and the guys would let me have it in the locker room. Like I don't even know who I'm passing to and all this.
it's
But
because doesn't Riley do it too? He doesn't.
yep,
Yeah, so it's
yeah,
just
McCourt does it too. We might have another guy, but yeah, it's here and there.
it's a trend. I was like, so I never would have thought to spray paint a stick, and then you see. I think the one that like really made it known, like that I noticed it was Nylander.
Yeah,
Like
for
in the
sure.
NHL, and I was like, oh, now guys down here are starting to do it. So
Yeah,
just something I
'cause
found
yeah,
very interesting.
yeah, no doubt.
Is there anybody that you like model your game after? Like if Travis talks about Nylander and spray painting his stick. Like, is there anybody in the NHL that you model or you look up to or you try to do?
Yeah, growing up, I loved my dad always was a big fan of Brett Hull. So Brett Hull was my guy growing up. That was where 17 came from. Then by the time I, started to mature, I always liked Zach Parise, Patrick Kane. Um, just lefty wingers that I thought would, great players, the speed that they played with and, the playmaking ability and, just their compete level was something that I always liked. Brad Marchand, I like to play a little chippy sometimes. And, it's nice to see a little guy out there that can bring some grit to the game.
What's the worst building in the Cossa you guys have been to? Because there's not
Um,
many left, but there's a few clunkers still.
yeah, see, our divisions, I don't mind anywhere going in our division, so it's hard to say. We travel with, I don't know, I'll have to say I didn't love Troyes. I didn't love Quebec. Bad memories there, obviously, with
Right.
last year's. Yeah, our division's great though. Where we go, Kalamazoo's nice. Iowa, Iowa would be a great spot if they were able to get more fans. I think it's such a great location. We always love going there.
New building in Kalamazoo next year too.
Yeah, so yeah, it'll be great. They get a great following there. The games are always fun. Our playoff series a couple years ago was pretty legit with the fans when we played there,
We love
and
it.
usually when we play there.
We love it when you come to Kalamazoo because it's just a quick drive down for us
Yeah,
over here at GR. So
that's the closer one, right? Yeah.
it makes it easy on us. What's been you guys have been on the road a lot this season. What has been your favorite road trip so far?
I'll say Iowa. Iowa's always a fun trip for us. It's a little longer bus ride, so you get more time with the guys. We stay in a hotel connected to the rink, and there's restaurants down there, so it's all you're walking everywhere, and you're basically going out to eat with 20 guys every time. So makes for a fun trip, and we go for 5-6 days. But ask me in 2 weeks, and it might be this South Carolina trip that we're gonna go on here. So you might have caught me early, but yeah, the South Carolina trip will be a lot of fun. Just change of scenery. It's nice to play a new team. Feel like we've played Cincinnati 20 times already this year, so it's nice to
You're still
see
not done.
some. Yeah, we got them this Friday, so it's nice to just see a different opponent. See how we match up against a different division, and two good teams that we're gonna go play.
Do you guys have anything planned for that road trip in South Carolina?
Nothing planned because it gets pretty busy because we go, I might say it backwards, but we go South Carolina, and then Savannah, or we play one Savannah first and then
Yeah, I think it goes
South
Savannah,
Carolina
then South
twice,
Carolina, back to Savannah. It's
and then
weird.
we go back to Savannah. So it is like we haven't had a schedule like that where we play like the 4 and 5 ending on a Tuesday. So it'll be a little different, but it'll be a fun trip for sure.
I know Savannah's awesome, and like if you guys get a night in Savannah, like just walk around the historical district. It's kind of creepy because it's all haunted stuff. So,
Really?
but it's
Yeah.
really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, we've heard good things, and I was able to go to South Carolina 2 years ago with the team, and we had a great trip down there. So looking forward to it.
Should we get into the hot questions, Travis?
Well, yeah, we had to reach out. I mean, like he's the guy. Like if when we talk to somebody new, we gotta get questions from him. And the biggest one, Nick, I'll let you go first.
Yes, coming from our biggest sponsor of the show. What memories do you have from playing roller hockey at Joe Dumars Fieldhouse?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I just remember my dad bringing me there all the time. you play ice the whole season, and then you get to summer and you can finally throw the rollerblades on. And that was kind of where I just think I enjoyed it more as a kid, I think, where it was just more fun. And it was all about fun and just enjoying it with your buddies. I think the ice hockey got very serious at times, maybe if you weren't playing good or whatever it may be. Roller was always the getaway, and it was always fun. The guys you would see there, I remember watching Hawk and Spees just fly around the ice. They're good at ice, but I think they're a lot better at roller, maybe. And they're two really good ice hockey players. But yeah, just great memories there. The people that, you meet just like anywhere else. But yeah, it's because they don't have it anymore. It's a shame that place got shut down, but great memories there for sure.
How did playing roller help your hockey IQ? How did that help develop you as a player?
Yeah, I think IQ for sure. Just, hand-eye with the puck, being able to make passes and, different plays that, might be at a slower speed because you're not going 100 miles an hour on the rollerblades at all times. So I think it just helped me mature in different ways in my game with puck handling and, puck protection and all those kinds of things.
Are you going to be playing in the roller hockey league in the summer?
I'm not fully committed. I mean, Hawk's definitely in my ear as of right now, so I'm not totally sure. I'm only an hour and a half away, so I mean, there's a chance that if I'm not fully committed, I could play a game or two at some point, but we'll have to see.
This whole show was for you to announce you were going to play.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I told Hawk, he brought it up in the locker room the other day, and I told him, what I read is there's full contact and fighting. And, that's why I play roller to get away from it, just to go out there and roll around.
Need break.
So I was like, Hawk, my whole thing's thrown off here. And he's just said, don't worry.
Of course.
But,
he's just going to drag you out there. Here's the wolves.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got a bigger body, he's bigger frame than me, you know what I mean? Guys might not want to hit him, so we had a good laugh about it.
So you had a couple call-ups. You played for Milwaukee. You played for Cleveland. We just had Moulton. We just played against up here in Grand Rapids when he played for the Moose. But did you play against GR last year?
I played when I was with Cleveland. I played against GR, so that was 2 years ago.
Did you play? It was in Cleveland though, wasn't it?
In GR.
Oh, was it GR?
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't get you post game, but what is that? How is that for you? Playing against the Griffins, it's just kind of a weird. We would think it's a weird thing, right? Especially when we have to cover both teams, and then we see you on the other team. It's like, well, what the heck? Little friendly fire here.
Yeah, and I think Doucette was called up at the time too. I think we went and got dinner the night before, and then her maybe I'm saying that wrong. Either way, Hiroshi was on the team, so it was cool playing against him, and Berggren was there too. I like the Wings. I follow the Wings prospects. I'm out there against guys that I've been following, so it's kind of funny and ironic. And then you go, and I think Berggren had 2 goals in the first maybe 10 minutes. So I was just like, okay, this is all right. And I actually ended up scoring that game too. So it was, fun game. It's a great memory for me. I had my parents in the stands and all that stuff. Good memories for sure. It was cool. Grand Rapids is a great city. That was my first time seeing a game there. And, I think it was, I don't even know if it was Saturday night, but it was packed. It was great crowd, all that stuff. It was, a lot of fun to play in that game.
That was a crazy season. Ahead of Antaro's last season here then. Bergie's. Oh, yeah, I can't remember. if it was Bergie's. It wasn't Bergie's last. I think he had one more season after that. Yeah, crazy season that year. And I remember because Brandon was like, it was friendly fire here. We are against that night. And, it's not really fair at that point.
Yeah.
What was your favorite city in the AHL that you've been to out of the few you made it to?
When I was with Tucson, I loved going. We went to San Diego, I think 3 times, and it's just so different from the Midwest. And I got pictures of me standing on a bridge, overlooking the city, and cool things like that. And I got to go see the ballpark down there for the Padres, so it was pretty cool.
Is that stuff you talk to Kelly about, being that he's from San Diego?
Yeah, I probably sent him the picture when I was at the ballpark. But yeah, no, we've talked about it for sure.
Do you still keep? Oh, go ahead, Travis.
What are your thoughts on him having a great rookie year?
Yeah, I don't want to say I saw it coming, but his years at Michigan State, I think he just grew every step of the way, every year. He he could have went and played last year, I think, not anywhere, but somewhere to finish a year, but just ultimately didn't. He called me this summer when Toledo was kind of in his, his range, and he didn't know if he was going there or what about it. So he reached out. We had a good phone call, and, I kind of I think we talked for an hour, just told him, pretty straight how it was, how we get treated, the coaching staff, the town, what to expect. And, he was loving the things he heard, and I think he didn't sign too long after. And, just the year he's having, great shot, great player all around, and, goes to the hard areas, does things that, I think other goal scorers don't want to do. And I think it's paying off for him for sure.
And now you're line mates with him.
Yeah, now we're together, and I think the two of us, the chemistry we've built with Dennis Smirnoff is in a good place right now, and will only get better as the season goes.
Who was your first call when you were coming back? Was he one of them? Was TK one of them?
TK was one of them. I was, me and Conlon Keenan talked on FaceTime, I want to say every other day or every third day, what it might have been. So he was kind of in the loop pretty good. Riley McCourt was another one that knew a lot. And, I'd say TK was right after them that found out. But when it officially happened, Conlon Keenan was the first call.
That's cool. I mean, you guys have had just such a tight group every year you've been there. And I know we just can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day on a Tuesday night. I know we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no, finally got to come on. It was great. Yeah, I really appreciate it too.
All right. Welcome back. Appreciate Louis. Always good insight there. It was good to actually sit down and talk with him, because usually when we talk with him, we're standing up. But really, I don't ever get a chance to talk with him because it's a travel down to Toledo. I've seen him, walk past, things like that. We may have did 1 or 2 post games with him. I can't remember, but it was good to actually talk with him for a little bit of time and to know his crazy story from Orlando, right? Of going, or San Jose, was just
didn't know that.
Yeah, that was unexpected, but I'm excited to see him this summer in the roller hockey thing for sure. What about you, Trev?
Will you stop spreading rumors? This guy. Jesus. Learning about, him missing a year with a shoulder injury, I didn't know about any of that. So that was really interesting piece there. And then just how much, he loves it here. He talked about that, and being able to have his family at every game, I think, is a big thing for him. And I see it firsthand. I've passed him in the hallway, met his dad after one of the games, and I was like, yeah, we got to get him on. We've been waiting a year to do it. And yeah, the timing last year didn't work, and we'll get it in. Well, now we got it in. So I'm sure they're going to be thrilled to listen to that. So just a cool piece with him, and how, how cool it is. He's got a relationship with TK going back to Michigan State. So that's a cool piece. And then just some of the stuff with Leth and some of the other guys. Keen's talked about how close he was with Keenan when he was coming back. Talked to Keenan every couple days when he was in Sweden. So just a team guy and loves the guys.
Yeah, it was good to learn about, because I didn't follow him at Michigan State, but it was cool. I popped up and I saw he had played with Taro and, former Griffin captain. So be able to talk a little bit on him and, just learn a little bit more about him. So, but let's get into these games, Travis. So we had last time I talked with you, we had 2 games against the Bison, who've been pretty good this year, right?
Yeah, they're having a pretty decent year. They're in a fight for the playoffs, right? And this was a weekend that, you see a team coming in, a couple teams coming in that, isn't, atop the division. This is a weekend they kind of needed to capitalize on. And it felt like getting out to a good start with Bloomington was going to be the way to do it. And, you look at the game as a whole, there's no scoring in the first period. And then you get to that second period and boy, this is why you make a trade. Garrett Van Wy in his first game, 46 seconds into the second period, gets his first as a Walleye. And what a moment for him, right? First game that he's in the lineup, comes in, makes an immediate impact, right? And this is why you go out and add some of that experience that Pat talks about, that, they needed some more experience and they went out and got it, right? And they get off to the good start in the second period, but give up the 2 goals and all of a sudden you're trailing and it's just and this is just kind of the way it's been right now. It's been a struggle. And you get into the third and Tanner Palisic, I thought he had a great weekend stepping into the lineup. Hasn't played a ton this year. Comes in and just makes the most of his opportunities. I thought he looked, he was a little chippy at points. He chipped in offensively, but he's that right shot playing on the right side. And I made a joke after he scored. I sent a text to somebody and I was like, right shot, right side, because this team is so lefty heavy, and then they lose Swoyer in this game. So it's like, just next man up mentality, and he gets a huge goal to tie it at 2. And then Johnny Waldron late in the third period. And I mean, Keenan made this play happen. He gets loose on a partial breakaway and gets stopped, and Waldron picks up the rebound, makes a little move to the backhand and slides it in. And, it was one of them things to where, like, I leave my seats a little early so I don't catch the last few minutes of the game because I have to beat the rush downstairs.
Right.
Because I put a graphic up for us, so I want to have all that stuff done before I start doing the interviews and stuff. So I'm walking to the press box to get my tripod, and I hear the horn, and it's like, oh my God, finally we score in the last 5 minutes when I'm walking over here, because the last few home games we've been getting scored on, and from the minute I leave my seat to the minute I get downstairs, now we're losing. Well, now this weekend it's I leave my seat, I get down there, and we're finally winning a game, and then TK adds the empty netters. Just a crazy week, great game. And what do you got, Nick?
So the Van Wy goal, though, is absolutely crazy. Like, rewatching this, he beats out his guy, and he just goes spinning in circles. The defenseman is just spinning all around like a little green shell in Mario Kart over here, and he clears the guy and then scores. Like, what a goal here. Just, obviously a lot of people at Toledo, they probably don't watch a lot of Jacksonville, right? So you didn't really know what you're getting with this guy because he's out of the division. It's not a team we play a whole lot. So you don't really know how this guy's going to come in and play. And I see that and I'm just like, this is fantastic. Like, I like the way this guy plays. He gets a goal. What is this, his first shift?
First game.
Yeah,
no,
first.
No. It was in the
it
second
had to have
period.
been. Oh, it was
in the second period.
I thought I said first. I was like, 45 seconds in, he scores the goal. How can you not love this guy? And the suit that he had on postgame was just absolutely amazing too.
Well, the thing too is the deployment with him was great. They put him right with Hawk and Dickinson. So it's you get two great players to kind of, to jump right in and go with, and he added a little bit of size to that line. He's 6'2", so he goes to the hard areas. That's one thing I noticed with him. He had one tough play to where that led straight to a Bloomington goal. We were shorthanded, and a credit to him as a whole. He jumps into the lineup, and I don't even know if he practiced with the team, got one morning skate, but he had a turnover that led directly to a goal. But you could see right away that the next TV timeout, he walked down to the defensive end and was talking to Chaz right away. You could tell, I think it was a miscommunication, or it was almost like a double clutch, but he put the puck right on the guy's stick and ended up scoring. And it's immediate. This is that veteran, player, guy with some experience of hey, maybe he said, it's on me. What that could be just a communication thing on the penalty kill of something maybe they tried in Jacksonville that Toledo doesn't do, right? So all the credit in the world for playing in every situation outside of power play, but he's killing penalties, and you know what? Guy makes a mistake, but ultimately he scored a goal on top of it, so it's a wash, so
they put him in all situations his first game with the team with limited practice.
Yeah, he straight into the penalty kill. He didn't play any power play minutes that I noticed, but right into the PK. So it's you traded away some penalty killers, especially with Hillman. So you had to bring somebody in that can kill penalties. And after that, one little thing, like I said, that led to the goal. He's down there, shoring up something, fixing something, trying to figure out, this is all new to him. Yeah. And to be able to just step out on the ice and kill penalties, I mean, it's a big role, and I thought he handled it well. And, the one tough play, listen, everybody makes mistakes, but he had a great weekend, and we're going to talk about him a lot as we continue on.
You were able to talk with him post-game. I wasn't able to catch the interview, but how was his first game playing in Toledo?
He liked it. He loved it. He said the fans were great. I had forgot that he had spent a little bit of time with Fort Wayne at one point, so he was familiar with the atmosphere. did say that it's better to be on this side of the atmosphere than the other side, but he was very excited to be here, and he's all in on, wanting to help this team in any way that he can. So that was one thing that really stood out to me. And Gyro played, and Gyro was great in between the pipes in this game as well. So that was who we had in net that night.
Was he ready for the hit me?
I didn't ask, but he said that he was, when he had been here with Fort Wayne, he knew it was coming, I'm sure. So.
Anything else you want to add? You said Gyro played Friday night, well.
He was pretty good Friday night. Didn't have a ton of shots, which Sunday completely different thing. We'll get into that. 19 of 21 on Friday night, and just continuing to be a steady piece back there that, everybody's said, like, when Gyro's back there, we're good. We're comfortable with him back there. So speaks to him and the experience that he's got in the net back there now.
It's good that he's keeping up. He hasn't lapsed, right? There's not a fall off. He's been playing consistent. He's playing well. Making that case for the number 1 goal spot, as he should. I wish he was up here, though.
Selfishly, you guys need 3 goalies up there, huh?
No, we don't need 3 goalies. We don't need 3 goalies. But let's get into Saturday. Saturday they play the Bison again. This was a little bit different.
Yeah, this was amazing. I was so happy for Nolan. The last start that he had was up in Troyes, and it went horrible. And he joked about it post-game about it. Which we'll get into. He made a funny joke, and I even said to him, I was like, you know what? The fact that you can joke about how bad it went a week ago and come back and play this well in your next start, that shows the kind of character that you have and just the ability to just flush it, right? And we'll get into that after we get through the game, but huge game from him. He gets his first professional shutout. And just ecstatic. Everybody in post game fired up for him. It was amazing. Tanner Kelly, 2-goal night. He continues to shine. And we just talked to Louie a little bit about TK. He's just having a year to remember as a rookie. And he scored a goal coming down the wing it looked like something Hawk would do. Coming down the wing, short side high. And it's funny because then Hawk goes off the ear hole. Later in the game, they'll bank shot from on the goal line. And I texted you guys. I was like, it's funny. I think Hawk may have said to him on the bench, anything you can do, I can do better. That was one thing that really stood out to me. But another thing with this was the fourth line. Like, they continued to shine. Waldron assist. Keen's had 2 assists. Waldron a goal. Like, their fourth line coming up huge. And Keen's moved from the wing to the middle. And I didn't know that he, played center in college. And he was great. He had some big wins in the faceoff circle. It's like Hillman went out. They moved Keen's to the middle, and there was no
drop off.
No drop off. And that's all you can ask for, right? You get a guy that's played on the wing almost all season. He goes back to playing in the middle. He's got experience, that's news to me, playing in the middle, because he's mostly played wing here for his career. He's been a winger. So you don't know what you're getting. And he was great in the faceoff circle. He won some key faceoffs, 2 assist game. He had an assist the night before. So it's like that fourth line had a great weekend. And, like I said, too, the one thing that was really funny, and this will kind of lead into the post-game stuff, is Bloomington's down 4-0, and there's 7 minutes left. And all of a sudden, the goalie goes to the bench. And I was just like, please dump it in and let Nolan try it. Because he's tried it once before this year, and he scored in junior, which I did not know about. He had scored in juniors. So that was like, I jokingly said to him in post-game, I'm like, were you thinking about it? And he's like, yeah, it crossed my mind. You're up 7 minutes left, but we're on the PK. I was like, maybe not the best situation to try it, being that we're shorthanded. But this is where it was funny with Nolan, and he's just got such a great character. He's a great guy, and he made the joke of, like, it was a brand new stick. So, like, I knew the stick wouldn't break because it only had 5 minutes of game experience from the last start I had. And I was just like,
oh, jeez.
I'm like, oh, man, that's where I said, the fact that he could openly, joke about it. The three of us were standing there, me, Brady, and Jason, we were just standing there laughing, dying in laughter that he said that, and it's like, you know what? That shows the kind of guy he is and the character he has and the ability to flush it. Like, that's a young player. He's still a very young player and at the pro level. And, he's having a rookie year. He's had a pretty solid rookie year as a whole. Has there been moments? Yeah, but he's a young player. He's going to have his moments. Everybody has their moments, right? Even the vets go through stretches. And just to see him flush that start in Troyes, come back and have a game like this to get your first pro shutout at home, even cooler, right? The fans are just going crazy. It's just so excited.
It's got to be tough. Like, he's not in a great situation as well of like being the third. He's like the third goalie too. Like, Toledo's been rotating between Gylander and then I'm trying to remember Matt, and then they had
him.
And him, but they also, before Matt, they had
Liam as well. Liam was pretty much the three, though, when he was here. They pretty much rolled with Nolan and Carter for the most part, and then they basically just flipped Matt, and then Matt's provided quality starts. So it's like, they're all three trying to battle for ice time, and this is where for Pat, like, it's hard to get, only one goalie can play.
Right.
And, Cleveland wants him to play. Well,
have they tried putting two out there?
Listen, I'll jokingly say that in this game, which is even more impressive, they only played with 5 defensemen. So I was like, okay, what goalie's skating out tonight?
Right.
Didn't happen.
I swear I just heard this somewhere else that they had a goalie that was short and they went out and they played defense somewhere. I can't remember where it was. But it's yeah, like you said, it's tough. You've got a 3-goaltender, 3-headed monster there. We saw it last year in Grand Rapids. It wasn't beneficial for the goalies to battle for the ice time and having limited starts. So for him to be here to do the job and then get pulled last game to come out and perform, it's great on him, right? To be able to come out and be able to joke about it, grow from it, get the shutout, being the first one. Hopefully we can, this kid's confidence is just even higher now. He go on a good tear.
Yeah, and like you said, you're just so excited for the person, right? And to have a bounce back like that. And he is such a great guy. And he was major league cheerleader the next night downstairs as the game was expiring, which we'll get into, and I could give you a little more insight on that. But just to wrap up this, this was a big weekend, right? You get 2 against Bloomington, you take the first 2, and then you got Iowa coming to town. So just big wins to get a hold of Bloomington and, get back in the right track.
And we were off to Iowa, the Heartlanders. 3-0 win against them. Another shutout, right? Just back-to-back shutouts now. Break this game down for us, Travis.
Carter Gylander. That's pretty much all you got to say. Like Gyro was unbelievable in this game. And, Tanner Kelly gets him going early, about 4 minutes in. And then it became the Carter Gylander show, it felt like. A big save after big save. I didn't realize till the end of the game that, Iowa, they had 45 shots on goal. They had 20 in the third period.
Jeez.
They came hard in the third period. And Van Wy gets another goal in this game. That presence, this is why you go out and make a trade. It really added stability to that top line. And, you get the 2-0 lead, and then you get the goal by Louis in the second period too to get it to 3-0. And at that point, it's almost the end of the second period, and you could tell Gyro was dialed. And there was a few plays that he made a couple really good saves. He had a breakaway save in this game, a couple crazy ones, but I want to talk about the last probably 3 minutes in particular. I'm downstairs watching on the monitor, and Nolan was the guy, the goaltender that was scratched in this game. So Nolan's sitting there watching it, right? He's coming off a shutout the night before. There's 3 minutes left in the game. You're like, come on, guys, shut this, lock it down, get a back-to-back shutout. These guys are going to be going absolutely crazy. And the mad dash, I think there was a minute 15 left. Gyro's down. The puck comes across the crease. He's out of it. He's completely out of it. and like he's laying on the ice and you just see him like pop up and make a save. Like he like springs himself up, makes the save, and the puck goes to the corner. And we were all like going, oh my God. Well, at this point, the door has swung open for the tunnel to go to the bench. So we're like, there's no way that everybody on the bench didn't hear us go, oh my God, what a save. like we were fired up, and like it was just amazing downstairs. Like everybody was fired up to see Nolan like give Gyro a high five, big hug. Like the night before, I'm sure it was the same thing down there, opposite roles. Like Gyro was just unbelievable. This was kind of that game to where you're like, yeah, like he's an AHL goaltender. Like I've said it all year, but like this was, and it's been like this all year, right? He's had a really good season. He's in that, his numbers are maybe about the same as last year, but like you see him go up to Grand Rapids and he plays phenomenal. And like we talked about forever, why was he being sent down at certain points when, they had, what was it, Tokarski in?
Yeah.
It's like, just leave him up there. Like he's earned it. Like give him the time up there. And like, I just was so happy for him, and he was fired up post game. It was just great to see what this weekend meant for this team. Like they needed this weekend in the worst way possible. And just to go out there and, just to get back on, not only get it back on track, but then go 2 straight games without allowing a goal and locking it down. Like that was huge. And then they got Truscott back for this game also, which really helped defensively too. And it felt like, I said to Gyro, I'm like, did it even feel like he had 45 shots at points? Because a lot of it was to the outside. They didn't give them that easy offense in the middle of the ice a whole lot. Obviously, there's going to be chances that you get it, but Gyro stood tall when he needed to. So just an unbelievable performance by the goaltenders this weekend.
That's what we see a lot in GR is the shots are coming from the outside. That's what they want. They don't care about the volume, right? The goalies are getting the practice, but the shots, the angles that the shots are coming from are very easy to be able to stop for the goaltender. So I'm wondering if it's some film or just you calling them out last week that they were able to respond back of, all right, we can do this. We can play structure. We can play defense, and it can lead to offense. I mean, you see that game of 5-0 and then 3-0 as well. So it's not like it was a 2-0 or a 1-0 game. Like they were still able to provide offense and still shut the door on the back as well.
Well, listen, I don't think what I say affects them at all. Like, I don't think anything that we say is like, oh, yeah, these guys say we got to play defense. Like, no, I think they all knew that they had to be better defensively. And Chaz was like, yeah, it starts in our own end. Like, you got to start in your own end. And it was fun to talk to Chaz on Sunday. And it was very funny because during the 10-game run, there was a stretch where you didn't see Pat in postgame. And there's a reason for that, which we talked about. And after they won Friday, I didn't talk to Pat. I was talking to Waldron, and I didn't see Pat after he was done with Mark, which was fine. Pat's probably sick of talking to me at some points throughout the season too, so gives him a break. But then I sent a text, and I'm like, the odds are like 75-20 that I'm not talking to Pat after we shut out Bloomington and we won the night before, ending a rough patch. And then he came over and talked to me, and I almost was like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, and then the next night he was leaving Mark, and he's like, I'm going to get you Chaz. I'm like, oh, and so it begins. Like, so
streak starts.
Yep.
We struggle with that here at GR. We wish we could talk more with, you'll see, like we've been getting Lash off a little bit more, and we've been getting Steph Julian as well. But I feel bad for Dan. It's every night. Sorry, buddy.
It's what the job's. Yeah, it's part of the job. Sadly, it's what you sign up for.
Well, let's go. Is there anything else you want to add to these games this weekend, Trav?
No, just like I said, huge bounce back. They played to their game. They played to their identity, and that's the biggest thing. And you could instantly see why, they wanted a guy like Van Wy, and, fall goes well, which it sounds like it should, that, if Brown shows up, even better.
Yeah, this team will be scary adding him in as well from what I saw with his stats. Just to this team, the way that they're going, the way that they're rolling, it's very exciting time to be following the team right now. Right?
Yeah, it's super exciting. We'll see what this weekend brings.
Let's head to a quick ad break. This is a little bit of a longer episode with Louis' interview, but we'll come back. We're going to go through the 3 stars, the standings updates, and what's ahead. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 4676369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. All right, Travis. Now that we're back, where are we at? 3 stars. Run us who you think is your 3 stars of the week.
Well, there's a lot of options, right? Like Keen's
Sure.
had a great weekend. Waldron had a great weekend, but
Louis had a great weekend too.
Louis did have a great weekend. But I gave the 3rd star to the new guy, Garrett Van Wy. I thought he came in, did a lot of great things, scored 2 goals, had 1 assist. He was a point per game player this weekend. Point per game player with the Walleye, right? This is why you make a deal. And I've said that a few times already today, but it's just the fact of the reality. This team needed stability on that top line, and he came in and provided it with Hawk and Dickinson. So I'm excited to see where that goes as they continue to go here into this weekend.
Do you see any similarities between him and anybody else that's played on that top line before with Hawk?
No, it's just a different kind of, no, not really. We can't compare last year. Like Hawk had a couple of years of experience with Bliss, and then Spezia, that just was not fair. The year before, I mean, Louis was up there at points. I think Van Wy adds a little different element than what Louis does. Louis is that line with Louis on, they can't break that up at this point. Like, that's a great second line. So I don't want that to change. But no, not really. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
And then second star of the week, it's got to be Tanner Kelly. And you could argue it could be the 1st star of the week. He had 4 goals and an assist for 5 points in 3 games. Like, he had a great weekend. Just continues to develop, continue to shine. Great rookie signing by Pat and his staff.
Why is he doing so well? What is it?
Well, you heard Louis. He goes to them hard areas that some, goal scorers don't. That's what Louis said. And then you look at just the overall skill and look at the guy. Like, it's funny. I sent a text to somebody. It's like, when he scored the goal, short side high, I was like, that's like something Hawk would do. And it's like the teacher and the prodigy.
That goal too, like the goalie, just watching the goalie's reaction to it, he was like, wait, what? How did that get back there? Like,
right.
he was lost on the play.
Yeah, and he's been a great addition. I'm excited to see how he finishes the stretch run. He's at 20. Can he get 10 more? Can he get to 30? Could he surpass Hawk? He's not far behind Hawk. Like
that fire under Hawk.
It might, and Hawk got one this weekend, and he's he can be very streaky. And when he gets one, and the one thing with him too is he shot the puck a lot this weekend, which when he's going, he's shooting the puck. So that was a very big thing. But Tanner Kelly, the 2nd star. The 1st star, it's a duo. It's the goalies. Like, you have to give it to both of them. Carter played twice. Lonzo got 1 game, made the most of it with a shutout. Carter, 2 games, had a shutout in 1, only gave up 2 in the second. So I think the goalies is the only right answer to this week.
5.2 save percentage for Carter. That's insane.
For 2 games, yeah.
That's insane. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's better than what GR's been doing, I think, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's a pretty small sample size of 2 games, but yeah, he had a really good weekend, and Nolan did as well. Both goalies got a lot of love this week. Rightfully so, because they had when you have the week that they had, you have to talk about them, right? Like back-to-back shutouts, and shutouts a team stat, and they've even said that. So it's just one of them things that when you go out and you play confident and you have the type of day that you know you can have, these kind of things happen, and next thing you know, you're having great numbers.
That's what it's about. Any honorable mentions you want to throw in there?
I mean, I said a few before. Keen's had a great weekend. There's pretty much the whole team is an honorable mention this week.
All right, let's move to the standings. Where are we at? Have we clinched yet? What?
No.
Come on.
We haven't clinched yet. We're not in the Griffins category. You guys are having, I hope you're enjoying this, because this is the kind of season up there that comes around once in a very...
In 90 years?
Well, yeah, but like there's no guarantee next year's going to be this great. Like,
could be better.
It could be worse. It could be
I
the
told
same.
Brandon, this is the standard. We don't go back.
Jesus God. It's a lofty goal to set for you guys.
As long as we have Dominic Shine, we are not going to lose.
Yeah, he's proven that this year. But as far as the standings go, Fort Wayne still leads the Central Division. They have 72 points. Toledo is right behind them at 70 points with 2 games in hand. Indy, they're at 57 points. Then third, Bloomington is in fourth. And here we go. It's happening again. You're getting a 3-team race for the final spot. And it's just... It's just crazy. Bloomington's at 54, Cincy's at 53, and Kalamazoo's at 52. Like, that 4th spot every year, it just seems like nobody ever wants to win it. And
who wants it?
Well, this is the thing. You look at the last 10, 3-7 for Bloomington, 5-5 for Cincy, 5-5 for Fort Wayne. So a lot of just mediocrity and trying to figure out that 4th spot. So that's your Central. Oh, and Iowa, they're in last place. Their seasons, they're cooked. They ain't coming back.
Just like their parent club.
Yeah, the state of Iowa's going through it this year in professional hockey. You head over to the Mountain Division. Kansas City, they lead the way still. They're at 85 points. That team, that division's locked. That they're going to have north of 100 points easy. Idaho, they're in second place at 72 points. Allen's in third at 63 points. Tahoe, they're in fourth at 61 points. They're 9 clear of the playoff line. They're looking pretty good, barring a major collapse, although Wichita does have 3 in hand on them. They're in 5th with 52 points. Rapid City in 6th with 48 points. Utah in 7th with 47, and then Tulsa with 49 points. So that's the Western Conference. We'll head over to the East. Wheeling, they're in a tie with Adirondack, and they've played the same amount of games at 68 points, first and second there. The Maine Mariners are in third at 65 points. Reading is in fourth at 61 points, and then you're down to the Railers in 5th at 56 points. The Lions at 52 points. Buddy, it's looking like the defending champs aren't even going to make the playoffs this year.
That's crazy after we just played them and they just beat us so bad.
Yeah, they're struggling this year. Norfolk is in 7th with 42 points. Them Admirals. And then Greensboro, they are in last in the North with 36 points. Head to the South. Florida, they've kind of pulled away a little bit. They got a 3-point lead over Atlanta, 76 points to Atlanta, 73. South Carolina is in third, with 71 points. And then you get to Savannah. They are in 4th place with 58 points. They're 8 points ahead of Greenville, who's got 50 points. So they've got 2 games in hand. Orlando's in 6th and Jacksonville is in 7th. So that's your look around the league for standings wise.
Such a big spread from like the top to the bottom, though. I mean, if we're looking at this,
there's so many.
Side,
you look at the games, though, dude. It's all divisional play. So there's so many 4-point nights in regulation that it's easy to separate yourself quickly. And like Friday night, I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and I'm like, dude, we're 14 points clear of the playoffs. He's like, well, that's only 7 games. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, can you relax? Like,
it kind of reminds me of Ignite the Nest right now in your division. It's just such a big spread of, the top teams are like way ahead. The bottom teams you're struggling. I don't know why we keep letting them run down, keep picking the team every week, but I don't know why you guys have not figured that out yet.
Well, it's funny, like going into this weekend, like I got to the rink Friday, and you remember, like, I think it was their first finals run with the Panthers. Paul Maurice is like, you guys are very tense. You're very tight. Like, he was talking to the media. He's like, everybody just breathe. Like, everybody just effing breathe. And like, that's just what I wanted to say to everybody Friday. I'm like, everybody just breathe. Can we just take a moment? Let's get through this weekend. Let's see what happens. And then they go out and win 3 in a row. So it's just like, everybody
In dominant
relax.
fashion, too.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, much needed weekend. It was their best weekend of hockey in easily a month. Oh,
Which is perfect. I mean, because I was like, all right, last week we come on Toledo, I host. I'm like, man, what is going on with this team? And then I start covering again, and we start winning again. So maybe it's me. Maybe the
maybe you
team
need
needs
to
me
show
more.
up. Yeah,
maybe they're spotted by that, right?
maybe.
Like, man, if we play well, Nick will stay away. But if not, he has to come on and talk.
If they would have got swept this weekend, I was gonna make your ass drive to Toledo next weekend just to switch the vibe.
Yeah.
I was gonna start pulling some voodoo stuff.
Yeah. Pull a little beard hair out and put it on the ice. Get him going. Put it on the bench.
So that leads us to this weekend. Obviously, more games. They continue. It's a weekend league. You're busy every weekend, but here's the good thing for everybody: you get a Saturday off. The players are probably stoked about it. You know, they get a Saturday night off, but they do got to come back to work on Sunday. So don't have too much fun Saturday. For the fans though, like you get a breather. I know I said to you before we started and earlier this week, like this is my first Saturday where I don't have to cover a hockey game since like October 5th. Like the week before I was gone, I was in like Utah. That's the last time I haven't had to cover a game on a Saturday outside of like if it snowed.
Did Brandon not tell you you're covering the Griffins on Saturday? It's at 4,
no,
4
I'm
o'clock.
I'm not. I mean, I will in a worst case emergency, but I already got to cover tomorrow's. So
we got it.
I'm just looking forward to like a day at home. I got some stuff around here I got to do, and it's just like, man, I finally got a full day to just veg, hang out, do some stuff around here. So I'm excited.
Should be good. The weather should be good too. Well, hopefully in Ohio it's good.
But yeah, Friday night, Cincinnati at home, and then Sunday, Wichita at home. So it's another out of division game. It's really weird. Last year it was March was like all their out of division games, and this year it's the same thing. And I know I'm really looking forward to the week of the 21st, I believe it is. That's going to be a very big weekend down here. I wouldn't be shocked if Brandon shows up that weekend because they're playing the Night Monsters, Tahoe.
Yes,
the team
the
from
21st.
Tahoe. Yeah.
The 20th and 21st, the Tahoe Night Monsters.
Yeah. Some cool branding. So that's a sneak peek to next week's upcoming schedule.
Perfect. Any expectations?
Just to keep it going,
Prediction?
I hope No, I'm not throwing predictions out there. I'm not fucking with that voodoo. Nope. You're not getting that out of me. Pat would kill me.
If you enjoyed the episode, subscribe, like, comment, use the hype button too. If you scroll a little bit over to the side of it, there's a little hype. You could throw that on there as well. That helps us. It helps the algorithm, helps put us in front of more people, helps us so much you don't even know. Again, we're trying to hit 700 by the end of the week. So go through, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have your mom subscribe, have your dad subscribe, have whoever you bring to the game, have them subscribe as well. It helps us. Big thanks to our sponsors. We got DraftKings. Use code THPN and Everything Hockey. Go over there, grab a hoodie, grab a hat. Use code WES at checkout. You'll get a discount on your items. And then also to all of our Patreon. Our Patreon people are Michael Asante, Alan Foch, Derek Sleazer, Lori Fausch, Griffin Not From GR, Elaine Grace, John in Florida, Tyler Ingalls, Darren Swartz, Zach, Peter Grell, Joe Schroeder, Bert Rito, D-Boss is D-Boss, Bex, and Alan in GR. So if you haven't already, go join the Patreon members over there. You get unedited episodes. You get no ads. You get some unfiltered stuff. You get what we talk about before we record, during the ad break, what we talk about. And sometimes we let it run a little bit after the recording too. So a little bit of inside stuff on that side. Every Patreon does help support us, helps us grow, goes back into the show. So you're always letting us get the show a little bit better. On that note, Travis, you got anything else? Well, you enjoy your Friday night hockey and Sunday. Take your Saturday off and go fish, go walleye. Love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your hosts, Nick at GR Hockey Guy, Brandon at Brandon GR Hockey, and Travis at Trav in T-Town.